Welcome, everybody, to this week's edition of Valpo Basketball Weekly, presented by our friends at Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute. Brandon Vickery with you. Glad to be joined by the head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Roger Powell Jr., as we get ready for Arch Madness with the Missouri Valley Conference tournament coming up this week. And we'll talk plenty of basketball, including the win over Illinois State on Sunday. But let's start with kind of a non-basketball question. Let's talk about the proposal that happened during your senior day on the court. Jerome Palm proposing to his girlfriend, Chloe. What was that moment like for him to choose to share that special life moment with his teammates, with you, and with the program?
It was awesome. Obviously I got choked up a little bit just thinking about, beginning of the year when he came into my office and we talked about life, because I spent a lot of time talking to these guys about life. I'm a basketball coach, life coach, so that's a life decision, to make a commitment to a young lady. And we've been talking about it all year, and he said he was ready to do it, and he wanted to do it in senior night. So it was special moment for him, special moment for Chloe, and I'm just so proud of him and just the commitment to be a man and take care of and start a family.
Let's talk about one of your other seniors, and Connor Barrett. He had his biggest game of the year. He knocked down 3 threes on the senior day game. It's been a bit of a bumpy road for him over the course of the 4 years. He's had some injuries. He's dealt with a lot. He's been in and out of the rotation and lineup. But what was it like to see him end things on a positive note in terms of his senior day yesterday?
It was awesome. He just stuck with it. I've stuck with him. Obviously, we needed him to come up big for us like that. And it was great to see him do it. Great to see him play with some confidence and make huge shots for us to secure a win on his last game on his home court. That was awesome.
Speaking of huge shots in that game, Cooper Schwieger had another huge game. His career high was, in fact, the highest scoring output by a Valpo freshman since Alec Peters exactly 10 years ago today, when he had 29 as a freshman and Cooper with 28 in the game yesterday. What did you see from Cooper, not only yesterday, but as a whole, as you kind of sum up his freshman season?
Man, first of all, I absolutely love the kid. I saw a ton in him when I first got to see him work out last spring. I got the job, and I saw it. I saw it in him early, and I'm really excited about where he can continue to go. If you watch the year, he just kind of progressively gotten better and better. I mean, the last month he's basically topped his career high like 3 times, and that's really cool. It's really special. And most importantly, it's special for him to, in a game like this, say, "Hey, we're not going to lose," and take over a game. And I can't wait to next week to see him compete for his first conference tournament. But then also, whenever our season is over, I'm looking forward to getting in the gym with him and just trying to get him to make that next level jump. And I think he's going to do it. He's a hard worker, and he's a great pillar for our program.
You mentioned the conference tournament, and you have a chance to come off a win over Illinois State and go into Arch Madness. What's your message to the team right now as you enter this new phase of the season?
Keep fighting. We figured out how to pull out a close one late, and we were up 13 at halftime. I knew that ISU was going to make a run, and they made a run. They even took the lead late in the game, and just that resilience is what I've been looking for all year. And great way to cap off a regular season, filled with adversity and close games and battles. And it's just that's what you want though as a coach with a team like this team that was assembled, to see them continue to compete and grow. And my message for next week is let's keep it going. One game at a time, one possession at a time. Let's compete and let's see what happens.
You mentioned fight, and as a follow-up to that, you're 5-2 this season when you out-rebound the opponent, and you won the rebounding battle in the game on Sunday. Just how important is that category? How much does your staff stress the rebounding element of the game?
A lot, and we've talked about it. Sometimes, just to be honest, it's a strength factor. We're not strong enough. We're not big enough to some of these teams, and we don't have that strength. Some of it's age, some of it's we just get stronger. But right now it's all about heart, grit, and will, and that's what we have to kind of bring. It doesn't matter if a guy's bigger than you, stronger than you. You have to have that desire to get the ball and get every loose ball, get every rebound, and that's what we're going to go into this week with that type of mindset. We don't care how big you are, how old you are. Like, we're going to try to win the boards, and last night was a great example of that.
Let's look ahead to the matchup. The net tiebreaker was implemented this morning, and so it's now official that Belmont will be your first round opponent in the conference tournament on Thursday. What are your thoughts on the Bruins and maybe some keys to turning around the regular season results against them on Thursday?
Well, we obviously we just can't let them start off, 9-0 or 11-2 against us, and we have to do a good job of those transition threes and making those guys put the ball on the floor. I mean, that's how they got going both times. They got a lot of threes, and there were some that were uncontested, and we addressed that. I was very disappointed in that. Some of the guys that were starting for us and playing for us in that time, were very laxed and with scouting report issues, and giving new guys an opportunity, to really execute and contest every shot. And to be honest, with a team like that, you cannot let them get going because they play fast and they feed off of uncontested threes. And Dia's a hard enough matchup. We can't let Tyson get going or Gillespie get going with just uncontested threes. So that's going to be a big key for us is having a great start against them. And then if we start off, it's a close game early and it's even, then we've competed with them for the rest of the game. But it's just those starts that kind of put us in a hole.
There he is, the head coach of the Valpo men's basketball program, Roger Powell Jr. Valpo and Belmont on Thursday at 2:30 p.m. in St. Louis. If you can't make it out to St. Louis, you can watch on the MVC TV network, including NBC Sports Chicago Plus locally in Chicago and on ESPN Plus. I'll talk to you again down the road on Valpo Basketball Weekly, presented by Lakeshore Bone and Joint Institute.